This is a podcast.
PVD Fables.
No, baby, wait!
We read stories from the internet and embarrassing personal stories.
Not to be forgotten tales of the ocean states.
Oh my god! What a turn!
The city of Providence, Rhode Island. You might think you were in a foreign land.
Oh, this is PVD Fables.
Ripperoni sounds like something you'd get at like a children's restaurant establishment, like a like a Chuck E. Cheese.
A ripperoni.
A ripperoni.
What's on a ripperoni?
If like Twitch ever gets big enough to release children's restaurants with entertainment, they'll definitely have the ripperoni special.
Yeah, of course.
The ripperoni, the summit special. The beauty pie.
the beauty pie. Oh my god, that's perfect.
You know what's always kind of boggled my mind is the fact that people are mind boggled at the fact that Chuck E. Cheese has alcohol.
Chuck E. Cheese
Someone
has
always
alcohol.
says it to me like I'm supposed to be surprised. You get beer at Chuck E. Cheese. Well, of course you can. It's a bunch of parents with a bunch of screaming kids.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
number one
makes sense.
place that alcohol belongs. Personal opinion.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think probably nobody remembers it because I don't know. At that age, I didn't I didn't know what alcohol was really, so I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I never really observed that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was too
Are we,
interested in Jurassic Park.
Going right now?
Yeah, we're going right now. Welcome to PVD Fables, everybody. Episode 8. Got 2 guests with me. Got Matt Dell, Delatore.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
I got some Corey Bush. I'm looking at right now.
I'm so happy to be here.
And I appreciate it. And I'm the host, Terry Clark. Let's do some things,
Yes.
Little riffy riffs in the beginning.
Yeah, let's
I always
riff
like
up.
to do. It's get around that Halloween time.
It's a good time.
Corey,
I
you
like
just
it.
had a
Favorite.
Halloween party last night, so that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That was an
Yes.
event.
Yeah, a lot of good.
I'm
costumes.
exhausted from that event.
Yeah, you're tired.
Yeah, definitely had to have an energy drink to
Oh yeah.
keep this going. It's
I've
late
had
at night.
2 coffees today. That never happens for me. I'm not a 2 coffee guy.
Ooh.
Barely even a 1 coffee a day guy, but went for the big 2 today. Might have something to do with the party.
I'm a coffee boy.
You're a big coffee boy?
I'm a big coffee boy.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
You're a 1 a day or
like 2 a day usually because
you are 2 a day.
Work. I just have free coffee all the time.
Yep.
So yeah,
You get 1 in the morning and then
yeah, 1 after lunch.
yep.
Just go from there. Fucking, have you watched any good horror movies? Anyone? Haven't really been on
I've
it?
been slacking.
I
Yeah.
have too. There's-
Especially considering it's October. I've really been slacking.
Yeah.
I've absolutely been slacking, especially considering a movie that I just waited an entire year to come out came out, and I still haven't seen it yet. So that's
When's that?
a sad shame. That would be It.
Oh, yeah. Have not seen it either.
Same. Ooh.
Wow,
Okay,
look
so
at
maybe we
us!
should
All
go.
right. Yeah, maybe we should go.
Maybe this should have been a review of It.
Maybe.
You guys, I'm sure you guys have heard a lot of opinions on it by now.
Yes, definitely.
I've
I kind of
heard-
understand it.
I've heard mostly positive, but some mixed.
Yeah, it's not really necessarily for the horror fans, I guess.
I guess that's what I've been hearing. Yeah.
I don't know. I watched a movie on Amazon Prime Video, so if you have that.
Nice. I just upgraded to the Prime, so.
Oh, nice. It was called Hell House LLC.
Oh, nice.
It was actually pretty okay. It's like a B movie, and it's about some people that make a haunted house, and crazy shit happens. So it's like found footage movie,
Okay.
a million times overdone. But this one was pretty refreshing because it was just the 2 weeks before they had the grand opening of the haunted house,
Yep.
and setting up all the shit and all
Oh, all right. Yeah.
bad shit happens.
Is it like a serious toned horror movie, or is it a little
No,
bit light?
It's like literally a regurgitation of a fucking Paranormal Activity movie.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay.
like pretty much like if Paranormal Activity was done by other people in a fucking haunted house.
Yeah.
But it actually had a pretty decent execution, and I was kind of engaged throughout most of it.
That's good. Do you like, speaking of like light and, darker themed horror movies, one of my favorite, horror is probably my favorite genre by far, but one thing I really like about horror is you can have a lighter horror movie that's still effective.
Yes.
Like, let's see, the vampire movie that you turned me on to about a year ago.
I actually just watched it last week, and it's What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes,
Yeah.
there it is.
I haven't seen it. I've heard good things.
Oh, man. Yeah, you definitely really need to see that. It's a fantastic movie.
Oh,
It's like,
I mean, I did watch one the other day.
oh, nice.
Did watch one. It was called, I think it was called Curse of the Witch. It was like on
Okay.
Sci-Fi while I was doing some stuff. So, yeah, it was bad. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. That tends to,
it was real bad.
Yeah.
you can't win them all. That's
Would you call What We Do in the Shadows a horror movie, or would you just call that more of like a dark comedy?
I don't know. I think I guess it's a horror movie.
It's definitely
comedy.
yeah.
Yeah, it's horror
it's-
comedy.
yeah.
It like they hit every fucking mark.
Yeah,
It's a perfect movie.
yeah. Watching that movie, it was it really does. It grabs you right from the beginning, and I really loved that movie. I was entertained from start to finish.
Exactly.
Wholeheartedly.
It's 11 out of 10.
Yep, loved it.
All right, I'll go watch it right now.
Yeah, you definitely should. Well, we'll end the podcast there, and you
Take
guys watch it too. So
Take a
catch
small
you
break.
next week. All right. So, yeah, you guys want to do some stories? Could knock some out.
Absolutely.
All right. I wanted to do some pretty scary ones that I've like collected over the past week, but we'll ease it in.
All right, we're easing in.
We're easing it in with Thanksgiving's around the corner too.
Yep.
So let's take it away with a Thanksgiving story. Who wants to do the first one?
I'll start it off.
All right. There we
Okay,
go.
here we go. So, one Thanksgiving, many years ago, my mom got the bright idea that before eating, we would go around the table and everyone would share what they were thankful for. My dad told her repeatedly that he wasn't doing that and that was a bad idea, but she insisted. So we're sitting there at the table waiting to see what happens. My whole family was in attendance. Brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, and my grandmother.
Of course.
My dad volunteers to go first, and the look on my mom's face is one where she's trying to decide if she should be worried about what he's going to say, mixed with wondering if he's just decided to play along. Okay? So my dad says, I'm thankful that I'm 50 years old and I can still get a rock-hard erection. Half the
Wow.
table died laughing. Half the table was uncomfortable, and my mom was pissed, and my dad got exactly what he wanted and stopped that whole process in its tracks. Then it was dinner time. Yeah, so good
yep.
job, Dad.
Yeah,
Oh,
Really
man,
brought the
mission
point home.
accomplished.
Yeah, exactly.
he got what he wanted, didn't he?
That's a funny dad.
There it is. Yeah.
Got to
To
appreciate
be,
funny
but like
dads.
to be anybody else at that table.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's tough.
I wish though.
That was a pretty decent one.
I'd probably laugh.
I wonder if him saying that honestly ruined anyone's day.
Probably.
On that Thanksgiving.
Just the moms.
Yeah.
Probably just the mom.
Genuinely ruined their Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's,
She was screaming the whole drive home.
people get uppity about shit like that, but he, yeah. What a way to get what you want. Just right for the fucking jugular.
Right for the jugular,
yep.
Very effective.
So before we started, we were trying to remember some crazy party stories. So I'll take one just to keep the lighthearted going in the beginning. Then we'll fuck y'all up in the end with some scary shit. So what is the most NSFU thing you've witnessed at a party? And NSFU stands for not safe for work. In case
Yep.
you are naive, welcome to the internet.
Welcome.
Penguin Carnage says, dude ran into the bathroom, yells, "I got a shit!" then pulled his pants down, sat his ass on the toilet, then puked on the floor in front of him. Realizing his mistake, he stood up, faced the toilet to puke, and shat on the floor behind him.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Penguin carnage. Excellent.
Yeah.
That must have been the worst smelling thing. Like,
Yeah,
like
when you shit on your puke.
Wow. Yeah, he did.
oh my god.
None of it got in the toilet.
That's the ultimate confusion.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep the thread going here.
All right.
I might win posted. Some dude passed out in the corner of this apartment party, and there was a dude crouched over him, trying his hardest to shit on his head. He couldn't do it, so nothing happened. But I wondered, what if I should have told the passed out guy what he tried to do? But then again, if someone tried to shit on my head when I was passed out, I wouldn't want to know about it. Same.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. That's you.
I don't. Ooh.
It's a tough one.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I would want to know about it, so I could fucking
Exact your revenge.
Exactly.
Like you're a Satanist.
Oh man, if I ever saw that one actually at a party, I would not be able to control my laughter. That
Yeah,
is
if
that
somebody
is
did that to me, would you tell me?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely.
Because that you only want to see happen to somebody that you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, you know.
And you want it to happen to the guy who's been being belligerent all night and then went down hard.
Yep.
And
then
now
that
some
shit
other up and comers, some other high riser comes in trying to impress and
getting off the bench.
yep.
There's probably definitely some people out there that deserve that to happen to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, if you get to the level of Captain Awesome, you know, it's bound to happen.
Yep.
Matt, you want to do that last one from Shagsy?
All right, we'll do Shagsy 101. And Shagsy says, seen two blokes trying to get a girl into bed, in parentheses, not at the same time. The one who actually did came back and threw the used condom in the other bloke's face and says, smell what you could have won. Smell what you could have won.
Wow.
What you could have won. Unbelievable.
This is groundbreaking.
Yeah, this is groundbreaking stuff right there.
Like, to throw the audacity to throw a condom at your friend's head.
That's the kind of person that probably deserves to get shit on.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Person, yeah, there
You're
it is.
absolutely right.
Bang. Crossover. Oops. Should we get into the spooky stuff now?
Yeah.
Take a...
I would love to get into the spookers.
I never had a supernatural experience, so I look at these stories and I'm like, am I a skeptic or just because it hasn't happened to me?
It's hard to say. I never really had something profound happen, but I did see that like video footage at Cassie's place of work. There was like a chair rocking.
Oh yes, yep. I believe I've seen that.
I want to see that.
Yeah. I think she's coming home soon, so maybe we could check it out.
Yep, that'd be cool.
I'd be very into
I've
that.
had a few. I've had quite a few experiences now,
Yeah. Do you want
for
to
better or worse.
Do you want to tell those?
Tell me your secret
It's
story.
yeah. I mean, it's up to you. Did you want to go into any of these spooky stories first, or do you want to go into my personal records here?
Let's go with the personal records, and then we'll
All right.
We'll see if we get to Weft.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all of mine have happened in the house that I live in right now, and which is interesting. I feel, so I've lived in this house for, let's see, about 12 years now, let's say. And one of them happened when I was in high school, and most of the latter of them have happened fairly recently in like the past 2 or 3 years. And it's been getting kind of kooky in there this year, honestly.
Oh.
But we'll get to those. I'm going to try to go in chronological order here. So
Okay.
we'll start with the high school one. Now, this one was a very groundbreaking one for me. This was like the first multi-experience, phenomenon I've experienced in a single night. There was multiple events to this one.
Man.
So it was just one after the next, and essentially, all right. So I'm thinking I'm probably a freshman or sophomore in high school. I think I must have been 14 or 15. Went to bed about 1 a.m. So going to bed, definitely had school the next morning. So going to bed, it's the only thing I know about what time of year it might have been is that it must have been winter, because I do absolutely for a fact know that windows were all closed in the house.
Yeah.
It's not like there were any open windows. No gusts should have been blowing through this house.
Yeah.
Right. And the first event was probably about 10 minutes into me trying to fall asleep. It's I sleep in pitch darkness, so
Yeah, same.
I have a little bathroom next to my bed, little branch off bathroom in my bedroom, and that has a door, and the door pretty much slammed. I don't want to say slammed, but it banged against my heater vent on the side of the wall in the bathroom. So it banged against it. It wasn't a slam, and the door didn't slam closed. It more kind of like swayed open with force, enough force for me to hear like the bang off the vent. So I'm trying to keep it cool. I'm 15. I know it's not normal. I remember knowing that, like, all right, that wasn't normal, and I remember thinking, like, yeah, because like all the windows are closed, like, there shouldn't be any reason for a door to swing.
Yeah.
And it's the two after that really set it off. So pretty much instantly after that one happened, and I'm starting to think about this, I had like a steel bedpost that was right near my head.
Yeah.
And I started hearing this irregular tapping on it. It was consistent. It was a constant tapping, but it was irregular. Like, it didn't have any real rhythm to it. It was very, just inconsistently, not rhythmic at all, but, very constant.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm going through all the scenarios in my head. Okay, so like, the heat cracks. Is this the heat? Nope, definitely does not sound like the heat. What is this? It really does sound like it's like a tapping on the bedpost near my head, literally the exact same sound it would make as if I'm tapping my fingernail on this bedpost.
Oh my gosh.
That exact noise. That's exactly what it was. And, so I'm thinking about it. And now I'm thinking like, all right, maybe my pillow is, leaning up against the bedpost, and it's like the
corner or something.
Yeah, the force of that is maybe, causing this creaking noise to just like constantly happen. I'm trying to go through it all, and then I don't open my eyes this whole time. My eyes are closed the entire time, and I'm like very conscious that my eyes are like staying closed during this, and I'm finally I guess because I was trying to figure it out and also trying to kind of not acknowledge it as best I could, but finally it actually got to a point where it was definitely close to 5 minutes or more of this, like, constantly. And I barely move my head and open my eyes, and it instantly just stops. As soon as my eyes open, it stops. And, I knew that I knew that wasn't right, because I wanted to check, like, I wanted to make sure I didn't make a major movement, so like to prove to myself that, like, oh yeah, maybe it was my pillow leaning against it, something like that. Barely moved my head and opened my eyes, and it just instantly stopped.
Holy shit.
And the next one that happened was just to cap it all off. So again, I don't do anything drastic at this point. I'm like, okay, it happens. Still going to bed. Still got to wake up.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm a little a little freaked out by it, I guess, but nothing crazy. Finally, I start dozing off again. For whatever reason, I kind of vividly remember that I was right at the point of about to fall into sleep.
Yeah.
You only remember when you're about to fall asleep when you are interrupted by it, I feel. Otherwise, you never remember when you know, exactly the time you fall asleep. But if you're interrupted just as you're about to, like, doze off, I feel like you can kind of, like, recognize that you're about to doze off.
Yeah.
And right as that was about to happen, I felt my foot get pulled, and it felt like electricity jolted, like, through my chest, basically,
Holy fuck.
when that happened. And I like sprang up pretty much in bed. Like I said, like, it wasn't just the foot pull, but I felt like something, it like jolted my entire body almost.
Wow.
And I don't know if that was just the shock of like me feeling that, or if, there was any kind of reaction from what I felt that affected me like that. But yeah, after that one, I stayed up for about an hour and kind of thought that one over for a bit.
Jesus Christ.
So that was 3 events in one night. That one was
How do you still?
yeah, how do I?
I guess you
How
don't
do you
really
still
have
do
a
it?
choice in the matter, but like
I don't have a choice, but
Yeah.
Shit.
yeah, that one was very freaky, and honestly, that's the only one where I've felt like I've been touched, so that one stands apart in that sense. But the next couple I have, for whatever reason, to me they're scarier, and to me they're worse than actually feeling what I felt.
Yeah.
It's this next one I'm going to tell you about, unless anyone wants to interject with anything.
No,
I'll just
keep
go
going for it, please.
chronologically right down the
Yeah.
line. So the next
I
one.
ain't never seen a ghost.
So captivated.
So it's this one I'm about to tell is, to me, at heart, the scariest one. This one affected me the most. This was something that I heard. It was something that I audibly heard, and it just, I can hear it to this day. And yeah, it's this one's haunting to me because of the connotations. We'll get to that. I'm absolutely positive. So here we go. This one was about 3 or 4 years ago. Was dating a girl at the time. Again, it was I call this I call this prime time for this kind of stuff, which is like, kind of like, I would say 1 a.m. to like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
1 a.m. to 4 a.m., kind of in that no man's land time. So it's in prime time, as I call it. So me and my girlfriend at the time, downstairs, getting cereal at about 1 a.m. in the morning. And we're in the kitchen downstairs, kitchen light on, opening the fridge, grabbing the cereal, grabbing the milk, getting the bowls. We're goofing off and stuff. We're in a good mood. No one's in a bad mood, anything like that. We're goofing,
Right.
laughing, whatever. As I'm pouring my milk into my cereal, I hear what I can only vividly describe as a goat yelping. I don't know if it was necessarily a baa from a goat, but it sounded like a goat yelp almost. And it did sound like a goat, and it came from inside the wall, basically.
What the fuck?
Where it would have to be like, so I hear it, I'm thinking that must have been my girlfriend there. She must have like made like a really weird noise, and like that's the only possible way that that noise didn't just make itself. She must have made the noise, and I just, for whatever reason, heard it really strange, like as like a goat yelp or something.
Yeah.
And
Jeez.
this was the scary part. So I hear the noise, and I look at her, like looking for assurance that what I just heard was her. And when I saw the look on her face, I knew that was something bad that I just heard, because she was almost already like pale, like
Jesus.
she heard it too. I could see it on her face that she heard it too. And it actually happened twice. We were getting ready to pour that cereal and get the hell out of Dodge, and we heard it again. And again, it sounded exactly like a goat coming from inside the wall. And here, I'm down there, I'm checking my cabinets, making sure the cat isn't like in a cabinet, making like weird meow sounds or anything. But nope, heard a goat from inside the wall pretty much 2 times. And I don't know if you know anything about this, Terry, but I've been told, hearing animal noises is kind of a frequent flyer in these situations sometimes with and the thing with it is that's scary is the goat. I mean, it's the demonic connotation there.
Yeah.
So that's what really struck me about this one. I've heard that people hear dogs a lot, and like dogs are a very popular animal noise to hear, I guess, unexplained, but
right.
So you have a poltergeist.
Maybe.
You maybe have a poltergeist. I mean, I guess from like
it's
what
tough
I
to say.
understand about this stuff, like it could just like really build up slowly. I mean, would you say it's more active now than?
Oh yeah, it's been very active lately. Nothing is as jarring as that experience necessarily.
Right.
When was that? Sorry.
That was about 4 years ago, I'd say. I'd say that was about 4 years ago, maybe 3 or 4. But that one really something about hearing that noise as clearly as I did, and just knowing the direction that the noise came from, and the impossibility of that, and just it was the goat thing, it's the goat thing that gets me. It's that satanic kind of connotation with the goat.
Yeah. I have heard like things like that. Yeah, especially there's like goats and dogs.
Yep.
Shit like that. I mean, poltergeist is usually because of a weird energy. Sometimes with like the Enfield haunting and shit like that, it had to do with changes in like hormones or like physical changes. Did this seem to happen more when you were in a relationship than out of one? Or is that something even observable?
No, I don't think so, because I've been having more consistent experiences lately since I've been out of a relationship.
Okay.
But some of my most jarring ones did come when I was in a relationship. So it does seem to really not matter as far as that. As far as the energy in the house, my mom's in the house. There's 2 different personalities there. I don't know about any of that stuff, but
yeah, it's tough to say.
Has she ever like had anything happen to her?
No, I've honestly been meaning to ask her lately, like very lately, about some of the things that I've been hearing at night. And these are the ones that have been happening this year. I've had 4 experiences this year that were very strange, and 3 of them were extremely recently. One of them is probably January this year. I was in a relationship for this one, and my girlfriend took a picture of incense that I was burning in my room and showed me the picture about 5-10 minutes later. I didn't even know she took the picture, I guess, but she shows me this picture, tells me to look at it. Looking at it, don't see absolutely anything out of the ordinary, really. I'm like, okay. She goes, look at it again in the top right corner. And absolutely clear as day, there's an angry old man's face in the smoke, like extremely detailed. And it's one of those, just like the goat thing, it's one of those things, I heard the goat, the energy in my body changed like instantly. My hair stood up, my whole energy changed. Same thing happened when I saw this photo and realized what was in the top right corner. Just absolutely no way that smoke should be that detailed. It was it's strange because I looked at the picture, didn't see anything. She told me look at the top right, looked at the top right. Absolutely could not believe what I saw. I would have the picture, but it was so jarring to me that I refused to ever look at it more than one time. I've only seen it once. I didn't ask her to send it to me. I've never looked at it again in my life.
Wow.
Yep, that was incense. And that was, I had recently started burning the incense too, so very strange. And then the more recent ones that have happened have just been kind of your prototypical. That's funny to say prototypical when talking about paranormal activity, but your prototypical cabinets opening and closing that you hear.
Shit.
Absolutely, completely unexplainable. That's what's been happening recently to me, and it's happened about once a month for the past couple months, and it's happening about 10 feet away from me.
Wow.
Cabinets in my mom's bathroom opening and closing.
What the hell?
Again, during prime time, midnight to like 3 a.m.
In the prime time.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yo, you gotta
Christ.
talk to her and see and be like, have you noticed this?
Yeah, I definitely need
Probably.
to. I absolutely need to because it's strange. You know, I've told these stories to people before, and some people like ask me like how, you know, like you said, Corey, like how do you live there? It's one of those things like I'm not living in fear of it, even though I've had like some pretty horrifying experiences as far as like the way I fell after them and stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't feel threatened, but it's just so interesting that you know I've had consistent experiences in this house from basically when I've lived there, and it's interesting to note the timeline of when these things occur and how it's been happening more lately.
Yeah.
One thing that I've always been interested in regards to this is so it's a condo that I live in. So
Yeah.
I wonder if any of my neighbors have had any experiences too. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Jesus.
thinking, you know, I don't think the walls are any kind of boundary for these happenings. So if I'm getting, you know, whatever's happening, energy, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
it would be kind of silly to think that my neighbors might not have had any experiences like this. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's close quarters because, yeah, it's like two families living side by side. So
I'm sure there's
makes sense.
some sort of like research you could look at online too to see if that is in fact like a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, people study paranormal, you know, goings on very widely. So
Yeah.
I'd say someone would have an opinion on it at least.
Yeah, because, you know, you see a lot, like, about, like, you know, like, apartments, specific, like, apartment numbers being haunted in, like, apartment buildings.
Right.
And not necessarily, like, the whole hotel being haunted, but room 1404 being haunted, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's interesting to me, whether it has to do with specific geographical locations or, you know, actual specific houses and specific homes or rooms.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
That this energy is confined to.
Yeah, that is tough to say. Like, how could you know?
Yep.
I like, now that you said like the whole goat thing, I do recall a story that I read about, it was something like this family, I guess it was like, might have been in like the late 90s or early 2000s, family, they lived on a farm, and the dad hung himself in the barn, and one time the daughter went and like checked out the barn, and right where like the post where like he hung himself, there was just a goat just in the barn, and they like never see goats in that town.
Wow. Yep, that's chilling.
That's pretty weird. And I just came across this story, which like kind of harkens back to that shit. Hey, got
Hello.
Cassie in the building.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice. Gonna have to come and tell some stories.
Oh, Cassie just missed my stories. Too bad. She's heard them. She hasn't heard the recent ones. I'll have to fill her in.
Yeah, definitely. After we're wrapping up.
I do have a. Yeah, it's the goat thing fascinates me. Absolutely fascinates me. I think the goat thing is like maybe a lot of the reason why I loved The Witch so much.
Yeah,
You've seen The Witch?
I'd have. Yeah.
Yeah, Black Phillip was MVP in that movie for sure.
MVP.
I was gonna bring up Black
the
Phillip.
juice. Oh man, but yeah, this story from Mr. Jiggs is kind of like the same shit with the animals. When I was in 5th grade, I was walking to the bus and it was just breaking dawn. I had to walk about half a mile down a back road with woods lining on either side. About halfway down, I was surrounded by 8 or 9 dogs, not wolves, but like actual different breeds of domestic dogs. They didn't make a noise, but they blocked my path in a half circle. I was terrified and ran back home, and when I looked back, they were gone. When I think back on it, I hope maybe they were protecting me from an unknown danger down the road that morning, but who knows?
Wow.
That's weird shit.
That is
Dog
weird.
formation.
Yeah. That's some
All
interesting
different breeds, he said.
all different breed of domestic dogs. What's up with that?
Wow.
That is something, isn't it?
Animals have a interesting connection to this stuff.
Yeah. Definitely.
You'll see cats, going wild, looking all over the place. Dogs barking at what?
Yeah, exactly. There was one time in my house where my dog was just looking up like at something
Yep.
in my room, and like it was like long enough where I was able to take a picture of him looking up. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Very
It's
strange.
freaking
Up
me
in
out.
the corner of ceilings, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. It was like higher. It looked higher than eye level for a human,
Yep. Very strange.
which is kind of weird.
I have 2 dogs, and
Yeah.
if there was to be anything supernatural in my house, which there isn't that I'm aware of at least, if the dogs would be like no help at all.
That's
They
probably
already
true.
bark at everything and anything. Like there could be a fly in the house and they would be barking at
Oh.
it. There is a car that drives by, they are barking at the front. Like if it would just be like another thing for them to bark at.
Yeah. You would not know the difference.
Nope, absolutely not.
Yeah.
If it was malevolent, I would be slaughtered.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm convinced that after a couple of days, the dogs would just eat my body. That would be.
Ooh. Know the signs, That's all you gotta do. Look at your dog more.
You know what? A funny thing that I thought repelled like paranormal stuff when I was younger was that I listened to such heavy music that it made negative like energy be okay with me. It was like, oh, okay, this music is kind of scary. So I guess we couldn't really bother this kid, but I guess it turns out that's not the truth. But I like to imagine that when I was younger, that since I listened to heavier music, the demons were like, oh, okay, we'll chill with this kid.
We'll chill with that.
I mean, so I have a story.
All right.
Okay, nice.
I also had a segue, but I lost it.
Yeah, it happens. We don't plan these, so it happens.
So I've been thinking about something lately, and it's like, you ever go out and you're just kind of like having a normal day, and then you have an interaction with someone, and you realize that it just went horribly wrong, and it was all your fault,
Yes. Yeah.
just because
Yes.
like your brain stopped working,
Among
Yeah.
other things, but yeah.
or whatever, anything.
No,
Like,
yeah.
it happens to me every day. It's happening right now.
And we're great friends.
I love you both so much. I'm just so this is a Reddit story. I found it in the Let's Not Meet section.
Ooh, okay. Do it up.
And this is it was posted by Silver Starfire.
Okay.
And I find this to be so relatable. So she goes, I'm just going to preface this by saying I was the creepy party involved.
Okay.
I was in a small forest nearby my house one night around 1 a.m. During the winter. The reason for this is because I was practicing meditation, and I sometimes like to go out into nature during sessions. I sat under a tree, the place where was deserted when I got there, and I just calmly melted into the environment. I managed to get into a pretty deep state, so everything was sort of dreamlike. About halfway into it, these two women, likely teenagers, came in. They were getting drunk or high, and I was giggling, and they
Or-
were giggling and tipsy. Sorry,
Or high.
drunk
We're
or
not,
high.
we're not sure.
I want to go with drunk if you're like in the woods.
Okay.
And a
yeah.
teenager.
Yeah, I mean, I many pit parties. They sat down about 20 feet from me, facing away, chatting, totally unaware of my presence. Then one of them noticed me and freaked out. Whoa, what is it? Did you see that? She said to her friend. Then the other one noticed me, an ambiguous silhouetted lump under a pine tree, and shrieked. My response was, in a monotonous drone, "Don't worry, I am a human woman." I was in a particularly deep state at the time, so I didn't really think about how it sounded until afterward. One of them responded, kind of stuttering, and asked me what I was doing. I explained that I was meditating and that they didn't need to worry about me and that they could proceed with the drinking. At this point, she's clear, like, she says it's drinking. So,
Oh, okay.
needless to say, they laughed it off nervously and then quickly made an excuse to leave.
Of course, yeah.
I'm like, I need to go feed my bees. So, see
Yeah.
you later.
Or just like, I'm not drunk anymore.
Yeah, I killed it.
This shadow woman is.
Yeah, she was very blunt with them when, after she realized her social conversation mistake, she was very blunt. Like, don't worry, you guys can continue drinking.
do whatever debauchery you need to
Yeah.
commence with.
Hug me.
I just came across this story as we were going through it. And this is from What Are Some Weird / Creepy Dreams You've Had?
Oh, boy.
So this one kind of got a little paranormal. I had, not to go into my own story, but I had a dream that I was possessed. And that was the scariest dream I've ever
You
had.
said this was recently, right?
This was recently, yeah. I don't know if I told this on a previous episode, probably. But if, it was really weird. I kept hearing voices, right behind me. Right at, the edge of my neck. And shit like that. And, weird things. It was just fucking strange.
Jeez. You were getting possessed vividly in this dream.
Yeah. Things were just happening all around me. And, I was, things were talking out of me.
Wow.
And it was really things were talking at me and out of me. It was really fucking freaky.
Jeez.
Yeah. I don't have dreams
don't
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah, I know. I woke up it took me 90 minutes to get over that.
Jeez. I get sleep paralysis every once in a while.
Dude, my mouth was open and I was just about to say,
Yeah, it's not
I
pleasant.
also get sleep paralysis.
Some people I've read hallucinate and have hallucinations when
Yeah,
they
I've
have
had
sleep
those.
paralysis.
Can I please tell you, this is probably 4-5 years ago. I was living with my grandparents in the basement. It was a finished basement with a bedroom.
Mm.
And my bed was at my door, which I guess they say you're not supposed to do. It's bad luck, but whatever. So my bed was facing the
I
door.
never heard that. What is it? What was it? If your
Someone
bed's
told me that your bed's not supposed to face a window or a door.
face a window or a door.
So if the bed was where you are, so you can.
I could have also completely misunderstood, but I'm pretty sure that's what someone said, and I have
Yeah.
no idea who it was, so I don't know if it was credible. But
Sounds like one of
Go
those things, though,
parallel
yeah.
to the windows and doors, I guess.
All right.
so I mean that wasn't really an option in this room, but
Just fucking you up. Right
so
from the beginning.
I kind of was in that state where I had woken up, but I couldn't move.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the only thing I felt as though I could move was my eyes. And I
Oh.
looked
Yeah.
at the door and I saw a black figure
Oh boy. Yep.
standing there, and it was as if it was coming close to me.
Oh.
Not to drone on, but even more intense. back before even that, I had spent a few 4 days partying pretty hard with my my friend Emily, and we came back to her house after all this, and we were like, we're just gonna sleep. So we fall asleep on the couches, kind of like in an L-shaped situation, and it happened. I had felt my eyes open, and I could see someone coming up the stairs. Her living room was
Holy
upstairs.
shit.
And I saw the shadow coming up the stairs, and just as whatever it was to like reach where I would be able to see it, I snapped up, and I woke up, and
Wow.
and I looked and it wasn't there. And I looked over, and Emily was also sitting up, and I was like, "Yo, dude, I just had the craziest dream." And I told her everything, that happened, and she was like, "The same exact thing just happened to me."
Wow.
No fucking way.
And so maybe that was supernatural and not sleep paralysis, but I guess I'll never know.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
you
something.
shared that between two people.
Between villains.
That's interesting.
Holy shit.
I'm never lucky enough to like snap up during sleep paralysis. The thing about it that messes with me is I'm trying so hard. All I can really do is breathe, and that's it. I don't even know. Yeah. I see black when this happens. I can't see anything. I'm pretty sure. Or maybe I can. Maybe my eyes can be open, but I sure as hell can't move a muscle in my body, which is like very frustrating. And then I start breathing heavier, and that's when I kind of start getting stressed out. But luckily, I haven't really had any hallucinations from sleep
Right.
paralysis. I know a lot of people have stated that when it happens to them, they often will feel or see like a negative vibe, or a dark figure a lot of the time, something foreboding. And
Yeah.
I wonder if there's
Definitely.
like any way to like utilize that space. Probably not. It seems just very evil.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't.
yeah,
You cannot live between conscious
that's
and
not pleasant.
non-conscious world.
I think sleep paralysis itself, it happens more when you wake up earlier than your full sleep, and then go back to sleep, and then it'll happen like that next time you wake up. That's been fairly consistent with me. I think I've read that's kind of one of the triggers for it. But it's also like, I'm sure it's also a neurological thing.
Maybe
it's a spiritual thing. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it's an occult thing. Maybe it's Legba. The
Legba?
Yes.
Please tell me.
The ethereal gatekeeper between this world and the next. Legba. Yeah. Witchcraft and occult rituals sometimes call upon Legba to invoke
I want to
spirits.
know who named
Wow.
Legba, because I hate that name.
Yeah,
Legba must mean something.
it must be. I think usually they get those through, they get the names through a Ouija board.
Oh, okay.
Like Zozo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and shit like that.
Zozo. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I don't consider this one of my experiences, but I have only used a Ouija board once, and boy, did it work.
Ugh. I have one in my living room, but it's fucking like plastered to the wall.
Yeah.
And we don't have a planchette.
Yeah, I was always against it. I was vacationing with my band at the time, and we did it in the middle of the day in the basement. It was pitch dark in the basement, but we were all in like a party mood, all in high spirits again, and did it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, like it brought us right to another right to another place. Kind of like it. Yeah, it was something. It didn't make me feel very uncomfortable, but it was an experience I've never really had before.
Yeah, I've never really messed with one because I just I don't know.
I've always been very against it before that. I'm surprised I even did it. I definitely would have,
Yeah, like just reading stories from the Mars Volta, Bedlam and Goliath album. What it took to get made is turn me off. Fucking Ouija boards.
Yeah, I know
Right
you
off
told me
rip.
about this years ago.
Yeah. If you're not a fan of the Mars Volta, This is a pretty fucking crazy story.
Oh, you actually know the story?
I do know a good amount of the story, but it was one of their later releases, their fourth album, and as a gift, the guitarist gave the singer a old antique Ouija board from Mexico, and so he started using it, and he started talking to someone through it, and that's where he got a lot of the lyrics for the album. Was things that whatever he was communicating with fed to him. And this stirred up a bunch of fucked up shit that happened throughout, like making the album.
With the whole band or just with Cedric, the singer?
I guess like sort of everyone. I don't know like any individual stories, but I definitely know there's been a lot of mishaps. Like there were two studios that got flooded. There was like one of the producers had a mental breakdown.
Oh.
And it was like basically like not fucking doing the album. You guys are doing something bad.
Wow.
Like you shouldn't be recording this.
Oof.
And
wow.
like bailed out. So like just crazy shit like that.
That is pretty crazy. A producer meltdown.
Yeah. 2 floods and a producer meltdown.
2 floods.
A little weird. And especially
Super weird.
the the sonic content of that album is wrong. There's something not right about that album. When you hear it, it's like some of the songs are like funk or fusion.
Right.
But they're just seeped with like something dark.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
Yeah, I don't know.
Super strange.
I feel like I typically just attributed that to the brilliance of the Mars Volta, but
yeah,
you're right. There is some.
Out of all their albums, that's the scariest one, definitely. Yeah. And it's not even much of like, it's the timbres.
Yeah,
so
I got you.
Notes,
exactly.
I don't know, but yeah, check that out. It's the Bedlam and Goliath. You should. It's a pretty interesting album for sure. But yeah, I have this like story about dreams since we were like on that subject, and this is from some of these goddamn Redditors give me a run for the money on pronouncing their usernames.
There we go.
Dingu Malingu says, as a child, I had a recurring dream that always took place in my grandma's basement. In the dream, I would walk into the basement, flip on the lights, and go sit on the couch. The basement had those sunken windows, the kind with a dugout hole and a metal wall around them. Yeah, okay, I can kind of understand that.
Yeah.
Like a little alcove. After sitting on the couch a few seconds, I would look over at the window. There would be this clearly dead young girl leaned up against it. I was always frozen at that part of the dream, staring at her for what felt like hours.
Oh, boy.
Then she would open her eyes, and I would wake up in a cold sweat. Man, that's fucked. It happened so much, I finally told my parents because it was making me lose sleep. My dad got really stoic when I told him. After my mom had left to get something, he told me he used to have the same dream. He grew up in that house, and he had that dream for years.
What?
The plus side, this dream was one of those reasons I got into lucid dreaming, though that can bring its own creepy dream experiences.
Wow.
I did not expect that to go there.
So the dad had the same dream growing up.
Oh, man, I'm like getting chills now. That's creepy.
That was a creepy.
Yeah.
And did he say that it had something to do with the house that he lived in, or?
Yeah, because it was that was his parents' house that he had the dream in.
Jeez.
Man, that's some pretty spooky shit. Goddamn.
Yeah, reoccurring dreams. Yeah, so yeah, that's really crazy. That's a reoccurring dream that happened between 2 family members.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. I never really had recurring dreams before.
Only when I was younger I did have reoccurring nightmares, but didn't seem to be paranormal. Essentially, my recurring nightmare was like me in space with numbers flying all around me, and I attributed it to my fear of math.
So I have a thing about that. Cody had that same dream when he was younger.
Yeah.
You should talk to Cody about that.
Wow. Yep. And it felt like I was always in that dream for like years. Just,
Oh my god.
you know, it was pretty much like floating in space, just numbers surrounding you, like
Yeah.
just flying in every which direction. That's crazy. And you're saying you had the same dream. I've never
Yeah.
had that with anybody.
Yeah,
when I said that one.
Shit. A couple of years ago, he like recorded some songs, and like he opens one of the verses like, "Open system preferences. All I see is numbers."
Oh,
And he
geez.
said that it was because when he was really young, he had dreams about like numbers.
Yep. That was like my reoccurring nightmare. I would wake up like crying after that bad boy when I was a young lad.
I think I had a very weird dream, very young, on the fringes of reality, and I can't even explain it. I couldn't possibly.
Yeah, you just can't put it into words.
Yeah, and the last like really fucking weird dream besides like that possession one was I had to like read a presentation, and like I just kept nonstop rifling through all the pages that I had trying to find the thing that I needed to say, and I just couldn't find it because in dreams every time you read something the words change every fucking time. That was a bad dream.
So you're just in an infinite loop of not being able to find what you're supposed to be reading.
And just like people are looking at you.
Yep.
Oh my
Wow,
god.
sounds bad.
Yeah, that one was pretty fucking bad.
Talking about this reminded me. I actually did have a scary dream that seemed to again go to this like demonic connotation thing. I don't know. I'm obsessed with horror movies, so it's hard to tell what comes from my subconscious and what's actually like created otherwise. But
Yeah, exactly.
Very simple. This is another one I've heard. Some people are weird about sleeping with the closet open in the room. Have we heard that?
I have a pretty creepy closet here. You could go all the way in it because it's like 10 feet and it's got like drawers, but they're like, I mean, it's as high as these ceilings. I have like pretty high ceilings in here, and
Yeah.
it's weird. But we always close it because we like to make a joke that the stuffed animals don't like it when it's open.
Yeah, that's a good way to.
Because there's nothing
Yeah,
really
that
bad
one.
in here in
Yeah.
this house, but yeah.
Yeah, it was simply that, you know, my closet door was wide open. I usually do keep it wide open when I sleep, and sometimes I feel a little strange about it, but I don't want to give it any power by actively closing it because of
Yeah.
anything. But
Yeah.
I did have a dream one time that I heard. I don't think this was sleep paralysis. I think I was just dreaming that I was pretty much couldn't move in bed, and my closet door was wide open, and I heard a demonic voice coming from inside the closet, and I can't recall what it was saying, and I can't recall if it was speaking English, but it was absolutely a demonic voice.
My
And
gosh.
it didn't seem like an eternity dream or anything like that. It didn't go on for too long, but that I did have that one in the past couple of years. You know, definitely good to wake up from that kind of dream.
Shit. That's fucking spooky. Closets. Like the closet I have at my parents' house is just like so tiny that it didn't have a door.
Yeah.
So like, you know, this one it's like a little mini vocal booth. So like, yeah, you could get in there, get lost in there. I don't know. I don't really have creepy things in this house, but my parents' house definitely had some weird energy, and Cassie definitely has like one particular story that kind of freaked her out a little bit. Because like, yeah, also late at night kind of thing, where she saw like something in my kitchen, and
No, thank you.
yeah, the lady that lived before, like, definitely died in the basement of the house.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. I never really had anything too creepy. Like, the only thing that really happened was, like, my mom has a lot of carousel, like miniature carousel displays. There's like 30 of them. It's kind of fucking, you know.
It's like a recipe for creepy.
Yeah, exactly. they would go off on their own.
Oh boy.
But like
Bueno.
those are those like the wind up ones, you know. So like once it gets to the end, it's in a locking position, and it would just like some of them would just like play the tune.
Wow.
Guess the ghost likes that music.
Yeah, it happened like when I had like friends over, and one time I thought about it. Like my mom was in like the porch area of my house, and I was like walking up to like the door frame of the porch, and like, you know, 20 feet away are like all the carousels, and I was just like reminded of when they would go off, and like it just went on.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuckity fuck? That was like the only weird shit that really ever happened to me. But
I actually just remembered one from when I was way younger. This was actually the only one I can kind of remember happening to me in a house other than the one I'm in now. And this happened to me. You remember Marco? We were we were real young. I was probably about 10 or 11 years old when this happened, and my friend Marco was sleeping over my house, and you know, we were like sleeping on the floor in like the living room or something, and I woke up at about like I woke up early in the morning, like maybe like 4 a.m. something like that, to all of a sudden my stereo I guess had an old tape of me when I was a kid, like talking in it, and my stereo setup that we had in the living room, I woke up to that tape playing loudly through the speakers of just my own voice when I was like even younger than 11, and it was very strange to wake up to that. Like, I'm not sure, you know, you wake up to this voice, it's very loud. All right, I'm figuring it out slowly. The stereo's on. How did the stereo get on? This is my voice. This must be, like, I didn't even know about this tape. It was really strange.
oh my fucking god!
Do you still have the tape?
No, I mean, well, yeah, I'm sure I do honestly have the tape. I'm not sure what tape it would be. I'm surprised that, like, there even would have been a tape in there from, like, that. I guess my mom was probably, you know, listening to it at one point or something like that. But, yep, it seems as though the stereo turned on and started playing an old tape at about 4 a.m. in the morning.
Jesus fucking Christ, that is something. My God.
Whew. Yeah, I would say. I
Yeah.
think something is like, it's on you. Like, it's you.
It's me.
Yeah, it's
Something
you.
attached to you.
I don't feel. Like I said,
Maybe
if there is, I don't live in fear of it.
Yeah, and maybe it's like, it is like, how do I put this? Because you don't give it anything, it's just not a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is what I've pondered for years. Like,
Man.
I'm honestly shocked I've had so many experiences like this, like, in my life. I didn't think it would be me who who would like have stuff like this happening, but you know, it's been nothing. At least, like, it's not, you know, controlling any aspect of my life.
It's not wearing
Yeah.
you down.
Yeah, it's not wearing me down. Is the
Maybe it's trying to possess
That's
you.
good.
Who knows?
Sometimes I wonder if the energies in my parents' house are weighing my family down. And that's what I thought for a little bit. I thought that maybe it was attached to my dad. Because it was just like, I don't know. I don't know if maybe he just gives off a fucked up energy, or it's like something. Poltergeists are like manifested activity because of something. And I feel like that's what it is.
So, are there? I think you know more about, like, maybe the different, like, types of paranormal activity. So
Somewhat, yeah.
poltergeists, there's demonic activity is different than a poltergeist.
Yeah, because a poltergeist is like almost like it happens at like certain junctures when like either like tragedies or like weird things in the house, like puberty, if there's kids in the house that are like going through getting their period or like, you know, changing.
Yeah, I think
Stuff
it's
like
that
that.
one.
Physiologically
Matt's
changing.
definitely getting his period.
So like that kind of shit, and then like, you know, maybe sometimes just like repressed shit
Yeah.
that is like manifesting externally. You know, it's a chemical storm that could like happen, which like could project outwards. But demonic is like something from somewhere else, not
Okay.
like a
I think it's that
manifested
one.
thing. It's
If I
like
had
something
to,
that's
if I had
always
to like put money on it, I would say that it's that one. But it's just like,
What, from my experiences?
Yeah, that's what it
that doesn't
seems
make me feel
like.
good. Well, I mean, yeah, I heard a goat. It doesn't seem like.
yeah. I feel like there's like demonic, like standard paranormal, like other souls, and then like poltergeists.
How about the old
poltergeists.
man face in the incense smoke?
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Angry. He looked angry.
Damn.
have you tried talking to him?
Not in a long time. When I was younger, I had the bravado to like call it out and stuff if I was like alone in the house and try to see what would happen. But
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't do that anymore.
Man, I can see. I only have my idea of what the picture looks like in my mind's eye, but
All I can tell you to describe it, since I have only seen it the one time, is it was very detailed.
yeah. See, now that you're saying it like that, it's like, how? I don't like that shit.
What about like the incense itself? Like incense itself, does that have any kind of like spiritual connotation or like I don't know,
No,
like-
I mean, I guess incense is supposed to be more positive than anything.
right?
Maybe he
mean-
just doesn't like the smell. I know I hate the smell of Nagtrompa.
Yeah. I don't know if like certain certain fragrances like have
He's like,
a
oh,
certain
this is in my
meaning.
face. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm attacking the mic.
But like they say to calm that shit down, like burn a white candle all the way down and burn some sage.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. You got
I'm
to have
not
to,
sure.
like,
I'm not I don't think I'm gonna address it. I don't think
Yeah.
it's something that I need to address.
that's good at least.
Have you ever had experiences that weren't at your house?
No.
Okay.
No, I've never really seen stuff at other people's houses or out in, public buildings or anything like that. No.
Yeah.
I think the idea of like a haunted, like very public building is kind of funny.
Hilarious. like what would be like the funniest one? Like a haunted Kinko's.
Yes.
Haunted Kinko's.
Or like I'm sure there's haunted post office, but
Oh, I saw a really yes. It's absurd. Some of the videos you'll see, like school footage after hours, lockers
yeah.
slamming, stuff like that.
Yeah, there was an
it's like
Irish one that went
nobody's
around.
listening to you. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was like a one in Ireland that was going around recently.
Yeah, I
Did
saw,
you see
that's
that?
the one I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah, locker opened. Fucking-
Door slams first, then lockers start shaking, then locker flies open, papers go everywhere, and then all of a sudden the wet floor sign
wet
just
floor
absolutely
sign.
goes flying.
Yeah, that one was weird.
I think there's a script there.
Maybe. Oh man.
Old janitor.
Paranormal exclusive.
And I would have gotten away with it.
Yep. Do you want to read one of the creepy stories that happened in someone's house off Reddit?
Yeah.
Weft boy.
Where's Weft? He's I can get to Weft. All right, so I'll do Weft if you want.
Yeah.
All right, so this is creepiest thing that has happened in your house by Weft. In high school, I would always listen to Sigur Rós before I fell asleep on my CD player. I had like 3 or 4 of their CDs at the time, and each night I would sometimes swap one out and just let it play. The music always seems to help me relax. Well, one night during summer vacation, I was heading to bed later than normal, and I was definitely the last person to head to bed in the house. I tuck myself in and turn on the music. As I'm laying in bed drifting off to sleep, I feel something move into my bedroom. I open my eyes, and of course, I see nothing out of the normal. So I did something that I sort of regret to this day. I provoked it. Oh, boy. I spoke out to it. Oh, geez. I said something along the lines of, hey, if there is something in this room with me, give me a sign. Not even 3 seconds after I finished that sentence, my nice and calm music turns to straight up blaring static. Wow. Almost like somebody turned my CD to like a random FM station and cranked the volume up to like 11. Yeah. Again, I'm sort of paralyzed with fear. I remember closing my eyes for a couple of seconds, turning my head and opening my eyes. Everything looked normal on my CD player, so I mustered all my courage and said stop out loud and pretty bold. As soon as that word left my lips, my CD player went back to working 100% normally like nothing ever happened. I still have that CD player, and nothing like that has happened since or before that incident. Wow,
Jesus.
That's a good one. Oh, man.
And
Provoked it, so provoking it.
yeah, shouldn't provoke shit.
Nope, definitely not.
Just like that fucking video that we watched before we started.
Right.
The kid tried to like provoke it a little bit, and talking about knocking, and what did the fucking thing do?
Was he talking about knocking?
Yeah, because like he said something about like just like, oh, the ghost needs to be like knocking and all this shit.
Oh, wow.
Because like he's like, oh, I'm just trying to do a live stream, and then the next thing he hears is like fucking knocking.
Yeah, so the video we watched, like, there's this kid streaming, and in the back you see doors slamming, lights going on and off, you see stuff flying off the table, but I think the scariest thing from that video was when you just see the small kind of shadow rays from, like, the kitchen area. That was, like, the one thing from that video that was, like, the...
Yeah.
That
Was
was
that the part towards the end?
It was kind of towards the end of the first video, yeah.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
I think that the second video, the very end, is what got me.
I think...
Yeah, I didn't realize how, like, chilling the...
It looks like someone's standing there.
Oh, really?
Wait, oh, no, I didn't even... I just saw the thing moving.
Oh, is it? Because it's kind of dark.
It was so hard to see.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was like but I thought I saw a human shape in it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was... I missed that. Yeah, that was kind of tough to see, but when I saw that little shadow change in the kitchen from just where the light was, I don't know what was reflected, but you just see kind of some, it's all sharp edges, and all of a sudden you see this kind of round shape kind of move over the shadow.
Yeah. It's fucking weird.
Yeah,
but if you want...
some type of way.
Seriously, that shit did like freak me out.
Don't provoke it, because I don't like, that story that Weft told. That's pretty spooky.
Yeah.
I mean...
The straight up static, I would be freaked out.
Yeah, seriously. And like, if you never heard Sigur Rós, to put it into context, to hear like static in one of those songs, it's just like peaceful Yiddish music. No, not Yiddish, but like, it's just like made up in another language. It's all ambient and beautiful. It just...
Absolutely beautiful.
That's Sigur Rós, but like beautiful strings and orchestra behind it. So yeah, check out Sigur Rós.
Oh man, I'm like, so the more like as we read stories like this, and we've been talking about this for so long, I'm so worried about Matt.
He'll be fine.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess you've lived all these years.
Yeah,
but maybe it's just waiting for its time. Concerned.
I would be lying if I said every time I turn the corner in my kitchen with the lights off, I'm not expecting just like the absolutely worst possible outcome when I turn that corner with the lights off. Almost every single time, but
yeah.
So far to this day, nothing's good. And how about when you're walking, if you're like freaked out and walking upstairs? Just, I feel like that's a freaky one. Walking upstairs from a darkened downstairs and just feeling freaked out, like something could possibly come up the stairs after you.
Yeah,
just run. I would be running everywhere, like
man.
Never stop moving. Always be spinning.
Always.
Viljarda, save me.
Viljarda. Oh my god. Not to bring it back to like the sleep paralysis shit, but I did have only sleep paralysis one time, and like just like you, I couldn't control my body. My eyes were closed, but I was awake. So I was like, what the fuck? I can't open my eyes. I'm like, literally in my head, I'm like, oh my god, I have sleep paralysis right now, and I can't get out of it.
I get like concerned that like, what if I am having sleep paralysis with my eyes open?
Yeah, that's where the bad stuff happens. It's where the no shit happens.
Yeah.
They're like, you're not supposed to see this.
Yeah.
I already say that.
You know,
No.
Now that I think about it, my eyes have been open sometimes during sleep paralysis because I vividly remember seeing my arms and being like, just move my arm, just
my God.
just pick
yeah.
up my chest.
Yeah.
Like, why can't I just like sit up right now? And it's very frustrating. And the frustrating thing for me is, I get bent out of shape. My breathing starts getting like heavier. My heart starts beating faster about it. And like the only way to beat it is just to calm down, and you just eventually fall back to sleep and then
Yep.
just wake up again.
Very, very similar for me.
I want to like do a kind of funny story that I'm just gonna riff, and then I'll close it out with one of the spookier ones that I came across. But like this is another sleep paralysis story where this guy like he's prone to having sleep paralysis like kind of often. So the way that he gets out of it is that he pretends to just scream in his head, and that usually like snaps him out of it so he can like move on with the fucking day. So one time he fell asleep.
Oh man, I'm laughing already.
What he like fell asleep in like the college commons, and he's like, okay, I gotta yell myself awake, and like just like bellows out of the fucking whole common area, just like yeah, and like freaked out a bunch of girls. So the TLDR was try to wake myself up by screaming Foos Road Dad the shit out of a bunch of young girls.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Just belting out an ungodly scream like.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like dead asleep, just screaming.
Yeah.
Just imagine everybody. Oh my god, how to suck the air out of the room 101. Just unexpected yelling. It's fucking fantastic. But the only time that I ever really saw things was not really sleep paralysis, but it's something that helps you kind of get into lucid dreaming. Is like sometimes if I lay on my back, just before I like hit REM sleep, I'll like wake up and like trip balls and then go right back to sleep.
Whoa.
So it's like 15 seconds of
Wow.
tripping sack. It's like there were times, speaking of Viljarda, I like saw like a big giant hooded like sheath figure, and it looked like something I saw in a Viljarda music video.
Wow.
And it was like wicked creepy, and it just like when it happens, it's like you can see something, but it just like everything keeps morphing in colors, and it just like eventually just goes away and dissipates, and I'm just like left looking at my ceiling like, what the
And
hell?
then you just go to sleep.
And I was like, all right, I'm back to bed now. Sometimes
Are you in like
it's-
are you in any kind of like controlled state during that? Like
No, I'm like completely like
Yeah.
like there was one time where I just saw like a mass of crazy rainbow energy and colors like coming at me. It was like almost like the Sentinels in the Matrix. Imagine
Yeah.
if that was all psychedelic and neon
Okay.
and like morphing in different shapes.
Wow.
So like I woke up to that, and like I was like so out of it. I literally went to go touch it. So I like saw my arm go out, and I was like,
Wow.
went back to bed. But like sometimes they say like it's good when that happens because you're more likely to lucid dream when that happens. But
Like immediately after that.
yeah, usually that night you will, or like you have a higher chance to if you can like give yourself the signs.
Yeah.
But I'm not allowed to do that because I snore when I lay on my back, so Cassie doesn't let me do that.
I snore no matter where I am.
It happens. But yeah, let me close it out with this somewhat lengthy one. It's kind of a two-parter. And then, yeah, well, let's wrap it up here. So, yeah, this is from, like, creepiest things that has happened in your house. And this is, yeah, I, like, read this kind of late at night, as I always, like, look for these fucking stories.
Yeah, at the worst possible times.
Exactly. But, yeah, this is from Madame Teller. I used to live in this house from the 2000s to 2007. In the first couple of months, my parents and I used to hear steps on the rooftop, but We thought it was like cats or something. Then the alarm started to go off every day at 3 a.m. We called the security service provider of the alarm, and everything seemed to be all right. This kept going on for a couple of years, and it only got worse. This one specific day, I was getting ready to go to school, and I hear my parents silently fighting. My bathroom was very close to their room, so I turned off the shower so I could hear what they were whispering about. And I heard my dad saying that he saw something in the window that wasn't human. I also had recurring nightmares of people getting killed in our backyard. The feeling of being watched, sometimes being touched on my hand or my face while I was sleeping. Seeing a man's shadow behind the curtain in my room, it was really upsetting. Other strange occurrences happened whenever I had a guest at our house, like my aunts or a cousin visiting. They would get hurt by random things falling over them, paintings, decorations, TVs. That's fucking weird. Okay. A couple of months after, I noticed how my family started to fall apart to the point where we didn't even talk to each other. My mother started to look for another place for us, me and her. My dad had already separated himself from the family. I asked her why, and she told me the most terrifying thing. She said, "I can't take it anymore. When I stay alone in the house, I see people inside our living room. One of them is a woman, but doesn't have any human features. They followed me up the stairs one morning, and one of them screamed, 'Monchetta!' That was the last straw. We moved after this happening since none of us felt safe anymore." That's some pretty freaky shit.
Oh, man.
That was like an Insidious type shit.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. But,
I don't know what I would do, honestly. I have to go home now and like plan out what to do if I have a paranormal situation.
Yeah, seriously. There's a little carry-on at the end that I saw in the comments too, and it was after that my mom finally found a place for a low price, and we started to move our stuff the same day she signed the contract. Since my dad still had some of his stuff there, my mom just told him something along the lines of, "I'm getting the fuck out of here. Your stuff is there. Pick it up when you want." We just had a paranormal experience. Something just
No, I just had a moment of stupidity.
Imagine if we had one while casting. Oh,
I
my
know.
God.
I'm going to have to edit this. I wonder if there's any EVPs. Probably not.
Worth looking into.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I won't edit it at work, so I'd actually be able to listen for it. Turn that shit up. Oh, man. So, basically, he goes to the house to pick up the shit, and instead he's like basically like, since he still owns the house, that he's gonna like stay the night since, he had the right to and all that fun divorce shit that you say.
Yeah, of course.
Around 10 p.m. or so, my uncle was picking up the last of our stuff, and I was already in the new house with my mom. So she gets a call from my dad, told her that if he could stay with us for a few weeks in our new house. My mom told him that he should make up his fucking mind and decide what the fuck he wanted to do. And now here's the big finale. My dad started sobbing while on the phone with her. He tells her, "There's someone in the bathroom." My mom tells him, "Yeah, my brother is picking up some stuff for me." And my dad just broke down and said, "But he's outside." So my mom told him to get the fuck out and spend the night at our house since it was probably way too dangerous and something bad could have happened. It's just too much. It's a fucking freaky ass story.
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't like that shit.
No, me either. But I like watching movies about it.
Yeah, the movies, we got to get some more practicing and watch some paranormal movies and then get back with it.
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
I watched the third one last weekend because it was on after that other horrible
I think
movie.
I've seen the first three.
It's the first one with like the Xbox Connect, right?
What?
So they like set up a Xbox Connect.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't watching it.
Paranormal Activity 3 is the blonde younger girl and the douchebag boyfriend, right? And
Yes.
So maybe I was 4
I'm pretty sure.
that I watched.
4 was like the ghost dimension, right?
All right, yeah, I didn't see that one then. Definitely not.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to get back to you on this.
Because I don't know how I remember
Dermot
that shit.
Mulrooney was in it. Does that help?
I
Nope.
have no idea who that is. I'm sorry.
You know what? Never mind. We
I-
can forget all this. We can even edit it out because it was Insidious 3 that I watched.
Oh, I haven't
Oh,
seen
Insidious
Insidious 3.
3.
I forgot about that even
Oh
existing.
my god.
She has a sidekick in it.
Definitely
That's the
watch.
most notable
Definitely
one
watch
movie.
Insidious 3.
I like those.
Definitely.
You
watch
liked it?
I liked Insidious 3 because I really liked Insidious 1, and Insidious 3 is a prequel,
Yeah,
and
it is.
I liked it a lot better than 2. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Okay.
2's not very memorable for me, for whatever reason.
I liked it.
It's pretty
Insidious
okay.
2.
There's one good part.
3, I really liked. The ending, phenomenal. I love when horror movies have good endings.
I'm pretty sure they got a chapter 4 coming out.
Oh, okay. I could guess I can fucking endorse that.
It's a good series.
Yeah.
It's not as good as The Conjuring, though.
No.
Oh my god, The Conjuring gave me hope. Like,
Yeah.
like
Definitely.
The Conjuring is, the Conjuring does get a lot of good press, but I really do feel like it is like one of the best horror movies to come out in,
I would say so.
a decade or so.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's one of the better new franchises, I would say. And it's probably it might be the best of these new franchises
Yeah.
that are coming out.
And there was a lot of subtle things in The Conjuring that I really just appreciated so much.
Yeah, definitely.
It
It's filmed well,
was
Yeah.
cool that it was in Rhode Island too.
Oh, yeah. I always forget about that.
How'd you feel about the second one?
Yeah, it did like the Enfield
I liked it.
haunting.
I did too.
I liked it.
The Conjuring 2, was that The Nun?
Yeah.
Yes.
Valak.
Yeah, Valak. That was. I really liked The Conjuring 2. One scene in particular just blew me away.
Which one?
And it's the hallway scene where the little girl is in the hallway staring down the hallway, and mom comes out and they look down the hallway, and it's the nun Valak way down the hallway, and then she just slowly moves. Moves into the other area. The mom character, I forget the character's name. I don't know if either of you guys remember.
That's Lorraine Warren.
Yeah.
Lorraine.
Lorraine
Right.
follows her and then goes into the room with the painting of Valak.
Yeah.
And the painting.
Oh, yes.
That Christian music starts playing, and then all of a sudden you kind of see a shadow walk across the room and just land
Get
right
behind
behind
the
the
painting.
painting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Chills.
That also has like a little light on, light off part with the painting too.
Yeah. Yep.
It
You're
like
exactly
starts
right.
with that.
Yep.
Because
Right.
like she looks at she looks at the painting
And it looks like
light on, light off. You know,
And she's looking into the painting's eyes, and it looks like something,
almost like it's like real for
exactly.
a second, and
Yep.
then that's when the record starts, and then the fucking shit is the fucking
Yep.
fan.
Loved it. What about Annabelle?
First one, I thought was pretty bad.
There wasn't anything to write home about.
Yeah, they're just like unnecessary.
I liked in Annabelle when they showed the demon, and it was red and looked, if you remember the scene.
I
when
don't
she
even
goes to
remember
the
that.
attic, and there's like a baby stroller that just kind of randomly strolls out, and then all of a sudden I think there's like a flash of lightning, and you just see this very tall red demon.
No, I don't even remember that.
Did you watch the second one?
No,
No, I didn't see the second one
Creation
yet.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Creation.
it got good reviews. Okay, well, I know I'm going home to watch now.
Yeah, I mean, I actually did hear the second one was better, so I probably at least go through that. But yeah, I would recommend also sort of a B movie, but has anyone seen Grave Encounters?
Of course I have.
Yeah, Grave
I have
Encounters
not.
is great. It's basically like paranormal investigators like that have a TV show. Sound familiar? And they go to a haunted place and they get fucked up.
Yep, their shit gets ruined.
Yeah. There's a sequel. It's really bad, but the first one's pretty good. Yeah. Should we end it there?
Yeah, I have a craving for Taco Bell.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was the episode, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for listening. So that video that we watched, I will put it up on the Facebook group, the live stream, 2-part ghost shit, because that is something interesting. Because it looks like it can be faked, but like just the way he moves around the room is like debunkable. But
I've never seen anything like that as far as like a streamer having something like that, which is cool.
I just think he's probably trying to get views. I don't know.
Could be.
I mean, it's not with
Someone's got to be the skeptic, right?
I don't know. That boy was crying though. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I was crying. Yeah.
All right, guys. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.